Hi, I'm Erin from High Crafting, and this video will show you how to stitch that cute little shape pattern that came with your Chacos for Life Summer Tour Stick and Stitch pack. First, if you haven't already, go ahead and adjust your straps to fit before you start stitching. Stick and stitch embroidery patterns work like stickers. You just peel off the back and then stick this pattern onto, in this case, your strap. Here's how we're going to start our embroidery without a knot. You've got these vertical channels in your straps. I like to bury my needle and thread through that instead of using a knot. So this is just like a knotless start, and then position your needle right under where you want to start embroidering. So the first design we're stitching represents river. I know I love to stomp around in rivers and lakes in my Chacos. We're filling it in with a satin stitch, so I'm stitching horizontally, and these are tiny stitches. The thread I'm using is Petites by Sulky. It equals about 2 strands of DMC embroidery floss. And this is a little tedious because it is so small, so be patient, take your time. Try to space out your stitches evenly. Sometimes when you're using the satin stitch, it can get a little wonky. The lines can start, going askew. So it can be helpful, like I'm doing right here, to give yourself guidelines and work in smaller sections. Sometimes when you're doing the satin stitch, your stitches on one side may be closer than the stitches on the other side, and this can just create like a shift. So I think it's a good idea to break something up and work in smaller sections. Okay, so you'll end your stitch the same way you started it, by weaving the needle through these little channels, these vertical channels in your strap. And you can even bury your first stitch under your stitches. And you only really need to do this about once or twice. It should be pretty secure. Maybe twice, not once. I don't know why I said that, sorry. Do it at least twice. And when you're finished, you'll just cut the thread flush to the strap. The next little shape is adventure. I've definitely been on my fair share of adventures while wearing my Chacos. So this little shape will be a series of straight stitches. Each little dash will get 2 to 3, maybe sometimes 4 straight stitches, as many as your heart tells you to do. Just bring your needle up on the outside of the dash and push it down on the inside of the dash. I apologize, but at some point I stopped recording and I didn't start recording again, so I didn't finish the rest of this shape. I do apologize, but I think you get the picture, right? This next shape represents community, and it's pretty fun to stitch. I like to break it up into quarters. So I'll stitch it into 4 equal quarters, and then I'll just break up each of those quarters. And I find that that's a really easy way to get even stitches, not get that wonky shift that happens when you do side-by-side satin stitch. This last shape represents joy. I think it looks like a little hand, like when you're full of joy and you put your hand up in the air. That's what I think of. For this guy, I use a series of long short stitches. The goal's just to fill it in, so just use little straight stitches. Some short, some a little bit longer. Okay, and it's finished. Let's check it out and compare it to the little design on the website. Look, they're twins. It's perfect. I love it. What do you think? Yeah, I agree. It does look a little bit lonely. So we're going to give him some wave friends. I do have a wave tutorial in this playlist. I just cut the little strip in half and then put one on each side and used a back stitch to stitch it up. And the other video, I used a whipped back stitch. So this is ready to be rinsed off. You can use warm water. If you find that there's any ink left in the strap from the stick and stitch pattern, you can just use some gentle soap, maybe some hand soap. But look how good these turned out. I had a lot of fun embroidering these. I hope you enjoy stitching up your Chacos too.